Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alya Putri and I'm come from the English education major to deliver my speech to all today. The theme that I've chosen is This Book Saved Me. Before anything, I'd like to say that I've done a speech on this topic, but the book that I'll be talking about is different. To give you a little bit bigger information about myself, I start reading when elementary school starts. At the time though, I did really go out of my comfort zone that that much because I just didn't want to read books that I would like when I was in third to fourth grade. My mother introduced me to a book that she said had a really big impact on her. I was really skeptical of it because it didn't seem like something that I would enjoy. But I started reading it on a swim. The book was about a young Japanese girl who was in sixth grade at the time, and she had an avid love for running. She was chosen for her school's relay race, so she practiced every single day. On the way, on the day of the competition, her class won first place. However, on that fateful day, her life began to change. With sickness and dizziness, she felt this as a constant but never did she tell anybody about it out of fear that they be concerned for her. One day though, it became a secret no longer. On a cold February day during practice, the girl collapsed and was taken to the hospital. She was in a separate room as her parents talked to the doctors, and from the separate rooms, suddenly her mother exclaimed, "Leukemia! It can be." When read these words, I was in shock. How would such a young and active girl get such a horrible disease? This is the true story of Sadako Sasaki, and her story takes place just a few years after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing. She was just 2 years old when I happened. She was really affected at first, but I showed up eventually in her and she was admitted to the hospital. The next day, her best friend visited her at the hospital and gave her a golden peppercorn. She explained it to Sadako that if the cults make 1,000 of them, then hopefully the gods will grant her a wish and she'd be able to get better. With this in her mind, she began to fold as many peppercorns as the could every single day in hopes that she'd be able to get better. It's a bit childish probably, but I really felt inspired and touched reading about how she didn't stop and nor did she explain at all about her pain. She also received unwavering support from her friends and family who would even donate paper for her with this. I truly felt as if she'd be able to make it out of this horrible situation. There came a time in the hospital when Sadako met a friend who was 2 years younger than hers. His name was Kenji and her also had leukemia. Unlike her though, Kenji did not have his parents around anymore, and her was very pessimist. They nonetheless became good friends. This came a time though, one day when Sadako didn't meet Kenji all day long. That following night, Sadako heard the sounds of a hospital bed rolling away. A nurse came into her room and explained to her calmly as she heard that Kenji had passed away that night. Sadako grieved in her room for the death of her friends, but she never stopped again to keep folding these peppercorns and hopes for the best. There came a point in her treatment also when I seemed like she was getting better. She was allowed to visit home, but never this visit. She only took a turn for the worse. That's when I knew that something bad was going to happen. One night during October, she slowed and clumsy hands fumbled with a piece of paper in hopes that she be able to make one last paper crane before she fell asleep that night. The doctors took a paper away from her hands and told her that she could try again tomorrow. The next morning, it was October, she ate one bite of her dish as her family and friends surrounded her. When her she said it's good in her sick and weakened voice. She took She took one last bite of the dish. Her eyes slowly drifted to sleep, and Sadako Sasaki never woke up. When I finished the book, I was in tears, grieving for the girl that I had never even met before. But I was so incredibly thankful that I'd gotten to her of her incredible journey. She had taught me and so many different people the importance of one, the importance of peace and how to maintain it. It has taught me that war is never a good thing. And most importantly, I think this book that taught me that no matter how dire your situation gets, and no matter the consequence of what's going on, no matter the outcome, that you must never stop trying. No matter what, she is today considered an important figure in peace, and that really inspired me. Finally, I'd like to dedicate this speech to Sadako Sasaki herself, the girl that one wanted to run like the wind. Thank you so much. I hope this book is Harl's Trier.